And we say good morning to you. Welcome. We're back live. Week number 2 on the Tom Taylor Sports Show with the Shawn Witten Coaches Show. But it's week number 6. Cyclones of the week off after going 5-1. And Coach, we're going to get another win coming up here in just a few minutes. Big win for our football team. And again, you got a week off, and so good time of the year to kind of have a break at this point in the season.
Well, it is, Tom. It's just almost at the halfway point, and we've been going at it for about 11 weeks now, 6 weeks in the summer, and it's just good timing to finish up the second half of the season. We got some guys that are kind of banged up, guys that have been pushing through some injuries, guys that have been fighting off some sicknesses, and we got some multiple guys playing varsity and JV. So we've had a lot of guys getting a lot of reps, and also as the how hard we do practice, and the things we ask and the demands of our players, lifting weights, conditioning. So it's good to get this time to kind of mentally take a break. We went out Monday and just got some good conditioning in, just get them moving a little bit. We do have some guys, like we said, coming off some injuries that are kind of banged up some, a little bit of tweaked shoulders and tweaked ankles. So it's just a time to kind of relax and then just kind of get your mind ready for what's getting ready to take place the second half of the season.
Absolutely. The heat, you've been around this for a while. I don't remember this deep into the season. Here we are getting ready to hit October coming up by the end of the week. That's been this hot and this muggy. Has that been tough on the kids?
Well, you're right. Last week especially, mid 80s. Yesterday and this week's been mid 80s. We haven't had rain in about 2 weeks, so it's been really tough. And then, especially humidity down on the field on Friday nights. It's been extremely tough. It's real dry and we got so. It's been good. We've been trying to keep the 5 pounds off some of the big guys. At this time of the year, just trying to keep them healthy, keep them fresh. Really trying to keep them, getting in those cold tubs and getting them in the swimming pool a little bit to kind of feel replenished. But I think you need some time to really, we've been pushing it quite a bit. Trying to keep that physicality during practice and with some of the teams you're preparing for. Daniel Boone, Tennessee I. Some of the places you got to go. You got to keep that physicality in practice. You can't be soft and then especially try to turn it on Fridays. But we're right where we need to be at 5-1. Everybody that has started the season is still playing, which is a good thing. We got some guys fighting through some injuries that are trying to push themselves some tough. We've had great senior leadership, and our players are really deserving of this week.
Talking to Coach Witten, of course, the Shawn Witten Coaches Show. Again, we appreciate last week over 1,000 posts, and so that's awesome for the first week. And we've got highlights coming up that you're going to be able to see this week. I didn't hit the right button last week, which is on me, so you're about to see what we're getting ready to talk about here in a few minutes. Open day. Out of curiosity, some teams have it week 2, some have week 7, some have week sprinkled all through the year. Who sets that? Does the school set it? TSSAA, the conference? Who decides our open day?
Well, it's kind of based off how many number of teams are in your conference. With 7 teams in your conference, you got odd number of teams, so you have to have an open date. This week's a conference game week, so this is our week to be off. A lot of times it has to do with scheduling your non-conference games. If we decided to play a non-conference game this week, we would have been off last week. So it's just kind of different. This is a new territory for us because the last 2 years we've been off the first game of the season and went 10 straight games through. So every open week's different. Every team's different. The players are deserving of this open week this week. Just kind of step back and regather themselves. I mean, our kids have really been busting their tail, working hard for us. They went out yesterday and worked really hard for us, about 45 minutes an hour conditioning, just trying to stay in shape. So, the biggest thing is, from Friday's game where it's physical, it's tough. You don't want them to get 3 days of not doing anything Saturday and Sunday. So, we got some guys that go to some college games on Saturday. We have some guys that, do different things. They're involved in a lot of things over the weekend, so we don't try to take up too much of their time of the week. And there's so many demands between Monday and Friday. We don't allow our kids to leave on Friday after school. They stay here. That's a long day, the process, and you got to leave and go prepare for, certain teams and get ready. And then, the mentality of after practices you got to get in here and watch film to prepare yourself that way. So a lot of times it's 6:30 when they're get out here getting something to eat. So there's so many demands through the course of the season. You try to cut off 15 minutes of practice here, cut off 15 minutes of practice there, but I think the open week you really get a chance to still create some depth, still try to work on some things that you make and implement towards the end of the year. And then really, there's 2 parts of the season. There's still a lot of games left, even though we're 5-1. We got 4 regular season games left. We hope there's quite a bit of games left in the playoffs. So, you really want to be playing your best football this time of year, and it's important to stay healthy and stay focused.
Played some good football Friday night. Let's go to the highlight package and let's take a look at this. And so here we go. We hit that, and then we drop down, and let's bring it up. And here we go. And let's thanks to Huddle. Well, let's get this thing started. This particular touchdown's out of sequence as far as how the game unfolds, but let's check this one out right here. This is a touchdown pass again from Carter Everett to Ryan Wetzel. Tell us
Well,
about
it's
it.
just it's a great play here. It's just, it's just great to see a guy like Ryan Wetzel, been in the program 3 years, and this is a play action pass, half sprint out to the right, throwing it up to make a play, and Ryan a little bit underthrown there. Ryan just goes make a play, but Ryan's been so big for us this year. Catching the football, going up and get it at the highest point, and it's really good to see. Hard work pays off for a senior football player.
Here's a pass early in the ball game, or actually late in the ball game, to Cameron Trim. Set this up for us.
Well, this is another good play for us, just to drop back and just dumping it off to our running back, and him just be able to get yards and get the first down. And Trim's a sophomore running back that we hope to continue to work more and more into the season and the game. He runs the ball quite a bit for the JV player, but he's a tough runner, and we're fortunate enough to get him some snaps through the course of the game.
Let's pick up this next one. Here's a beautiful run. Check this one out for, guess who, number 5, Corey Russell.
Well, this is unfortunate. The ref called him, said he stepped out of bounds. This was early in the game, and this is a big play for us, just breaking tackles and creating a big spark for us early in the game and just right off the bat. But you can see how explosive he is, and then how fast he is running the football. I mean, there's nobody going to catch him at this point. But just unfortunately, he stepped out of bounds, and it's great to see Corey get us off to a good start and a big time run for him.
We'll talk about the numbers coming up in a moment, the numbers for Corey and for Carter and for Ryan. Here's a touchdown pass to Ryan Wetzel. Let's set this one up.
Well, this has been our money ball all year long. It's close on the goal line. They get expecting Corey to get it. We got man coverage on the outside, and his ability of the ball to go up and get it is another great throw, great catch by Carter and Ryan. And you just love the continuity between those two kids. You saw the relationship between Carter and Connor like a year ago. Now it's Ryan coming in his senior year. So I just love the way that Ryan's going up and making plays, catching the football. I mean, you just throw it up to him, and he's going to go get it. But you got to love his jumping ability and his great concentration in making those plays.
You don't teach that. That kind of comes with the territory, right?
It does. I mean, it's just hard work. It's great to see Tom. A guy's been in the program for 3 years, and he's been a major contributor, but this year it just comes, and it's just, you like to say that all the hard work pays off. The summer preparation, what he's compiled in 3 years, and didn't get frustrated, just stuck with the program, and he's letting things come to him, and now he's being rewarded for it.
There you go, getting rewarded for his hard work. Here's some more highlights. Here's another Carter Everett. Again, this will be a touchdown pass to, guess who, Ryan Wetzel. Here we go
This
again.
is another same play here. We're still in a 4 wide receiver set. Ryan's on the outside. This is a longer fade to the corner of the end zone, but big play for us, just be able to throw it up and go get it. And it's seemed like that's been a great play for us this year. We've thrown more fade routes this year we probably have in 11 years combined, Tom. It's just, we haven't really, a lot of times when you get down there, you don't feel comfortable throwing it. We got good kickers where we can settle for 3 points, but, the ability to make that happen where, we're a little bit undersized on our offensive line at the guards and center position. We're big at the tackles. We got a sophomore tight end. We don't really have that big fullback type kid. Corey's still a kind of a little bit of a scat back, but even though he can run over you in a heartbeat, but, we feel like that's an area where we've got 3 receivers, and, and fortunately Ryan's been, on the most of the ends, but we got Keelan Hall that, we can throw to. We got Kush Patel that we can throw to down there, has some size. So, but Ryan's been spectacular for us. To have that many touchdowns in 6 games through the season, shows that's a great weapon for us, and just really proud of the connection with those two guys, for our football team. Don't know where we'd be, right now without a guy like Ryan Wetzel, and just proud of those guys. Extremely proud of those guys, the way that they, being in the program, Tom, for 3 years, and all of a sudden you wait for those moments your senior year, and it's just great. It's great each week to see different seniors step up, and it's great to see signs where you talk to a lot of our younger kids. That's great for guys like Zach Hartley and Evan Perkins and Keelan Hall, and even the young receivers we got, Jordan Killian and Braden Holly. Ryan's a guy that you can really look up to and say, hey, I want to be just like that in a couple years.
Role model.
It is big time.
Absolutely role model. So you go from a senior Ryan Wetzel. Let's talk about another kid that's really become a weapon for this football team as your kicker, the freshman Hensley. This guy's hammered in the end zone. Mike and I, the chaplain, we stood over the other night. I would guess probably 80%, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. He's kicking in the end zone. Big weapon for the team.
Well, it is. Coach Ogg and I figured out last year the average starting position against Tennessee High a year ago was the 42-yard line for Tennessee High. This year you have that weapon where you're a different football team when that ball's at the 20 when it's at the 42-yard line. So major weapon. Do a great job. One of those returns Friday, we got it. We were able to pin it at the 19. Which is a really good when it came out of the end zone. So we're fortunate. Tom at Elizabethton High School, we got great kids. They work hard for us. They love the demands by the coaches and the expectations, and it was a big win for us Friday. But I just love coming out of a game where it's a total team win. It really is. It's all three phases. It's guys doing their job. We always make it a big thing. Take ownership of your position. At week 6 in the season, guys start taking in their roles, but you want them to take ownership and pride in their position and perfecting their craft.
35-16 Friday night again. Wetzel 4-yard pass from Everett. Also a 13-yard pass again. Corey had a 2-yard run. Also Corey came back with a 7-yard run late in the game, and then the final touchdown for the Cyclones, the 60-yard pass that we saw. 35-16 your final. Carter Everett on the night, 14 out of 23, 176 yards, 3 touchdowns. Now 19 on the season for Carter Everett, the junior. That sounds good, doesn't it?
It does.
The junior.
Really, it does sound good.
Corey Russell, 21 carries, 176 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaged 8 yards a carry. Junior, like to hear that. Ryan Wetzel, 9 catches, 124 yards, 3 touchdowns. He now has 13 TDs on the season. He averaged 14 yards a catch on Friday night. Let's give some props to the defensive side of the football. Cujo, the defensive end, 8 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. Nestor Grubb, the middle linebacker, 4.5 tackles. Then Tyson Vance, the outside linebacker, is really coming on. 5 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Coach, you look at Tennessee High's stats. They got 16 points, 19 yards rushing is all they had for the entire game, 124 passing. We hold them to 143 yards of total offense. That's pretty stout on the road.
Well, it is, and it's a tough environment. A much improved Tennessee High football team that the coaching staff knows to play a physical type football game, and we knew it was going to be a tough contest. But like you said, Tom, it's just a total team effort. You go down through there and some individuals playing really well, but it's important that Cujo's able to make those plays because he's got other great defensive linemen. We talked about a guy like Joseph Collins who's played Friday night. Majority of the game he's got a little bit of a knee sprain, but Tyson Vance is a senior, Nestor Grubb's a senior, Cujo's a senior. Guys that have put in a lot of time and they're being rewarded for it. And hard work pays off. You talk about up there, same thing. It's fortunate that we got guys that can step up and make plays. And when you hold a football team to 143 yards in any category,
absolutely,
it's a great thing. So just proud of our football team, and we just keep getting better. We keep finding ways to win, and just excited about what lies ahead.
Another great stat on Friday night. Tennessee High offensively, third down conversions, only 6 out of 17. Cyclones 8 for 11 on third down conversions. Elizabethton 35 points, as we said, 242 yards rushing, 176 passing, over 400 yards of offense. When you go to the Stone Castle and put 400 yards of offense on their team, you've done something.
Well, it's an incredible effort by our kids. We talked about it, Tom, a couple weeks ago about preparation. You prepare until you perform, and when your performance matches your preparation, that's you've done something. There's some things that they were doing. They had an offensive lineman number 52. They like to move around. It kind of gave away where the ball is going. He liked to pull that way, but Tennessee High is a good football team. They're tough. They're physical. They had a great game plan against us. They were able to try to control the clock several times during the course of the game. We made them get out of that little bunch set stuff and try to open it up and throw a little bit. But, it seems like we never really gave up the big play. We got off to a great start, 21-0, and they were able to battle back. But it's just a great overall by our kids' preparation, and just proud of the way that they were able to close the game out.
Last Friday night was the 51st meeting between the two, and now the series goes 26-25 in favor of Tennessee High, but we've closed the gap because we've now won 5 in a row.
Well, it's a good feeling. As we've always made this game, it's a pivotal game. No team can afford to lose this game. That's why they call it a big-time rivalry. There's a lot of history between, Friday night they recognize the 1972 football team at Tennessee High, the national championship team. We had some guys there, Del Fair, that remember those games. But there's always been a great rivalry between Tennessee High and Elizabethton, and it seems like that game's always been almost at the halfway point. So we've always used that game as that game really gives us a lot of confidence to finish the season. To really let us know where we stand, and we're going to be competing for a championship in a couple weeks, and it's really good to see us play well. We overcame some penalties early in the game. We had a 1st and 41 at one time. We converted, like you said, 8-11 on third down. We practiced those situations, and I was really proud of our defense in the second half. The start of the third quarter, Tennessee High marched the football all the way down. We made them settle for a field goal. That was critical. They could have cut it to 21-14 at that point in time. So, to keep that thing 21-10, and then we got the ball back and answered with another touchdown. That just shows signs of a good football team, overcoming adversity, playing the situations, and always finishing the game.
Resilient football team. Let's take a look in Cyclones off this week. By the way, next week we won't have a show until after we play at Union, because next week obviously we'll be off for the rest of this week, and so our next show will be coming up in a couple of weeks, and that's okay. We've also got coming up on October the 2nd, or is it the 3rd? It'll be the 3rd. We'll be doing the Vance and Duggar football game from Citizens Bank Stadium. We're going to come back and do that. We had a big positive response doing the game against Crockett, so we're going to come back and do the final game, and we'll talk about that with Coach in a minute. It's a big deal. These kids getting ready to transition from Duggar to Elizabethton. Let's take a look at the conference this week. Elizabethton, of course, goes up in the polls, now 4th in the state, but the polls out now, which is quite an honor for this football program, who, by the way, picked up their win number 374 last Friday night. So the next victory will hit a big milestone at number 375 for this football program. 375 wins, 202 defeats, and 2 ties in the history of the school. Here is the standings. Elizabethton and Sullivan South on top of the conference at 2-0. Greenville at 1-0. Sullivan East, even Steven at 1-1. Sullivan Central 0-1. And Granger and Union County right now at 0-2. Again, Cyclones off this week. This Friday night, Greenville will go to Sullivan Central in Blountville. Sullivan East will play at Granger, and Union will be in Colonial Heights to battle the South Rebels. And Justin Hilton doing a great job there getting that program turned around. So that's your schedule for this week. Coach, you look up and down the conference, and we know what's looming on the horizon. That would be that showdown with Greenville coming up in a couple of weeks here. But between now and then is that game at Union. You got to stay focused, and you got to take them one at a time.
Well, we got some things we got to get corrected. We got some adjustments we got to make in our schemes. We got to continue to practice hard and get mentally prepared. At this point in time of the season, it's a lot more mental than it is physical. We put in a lot of the work. We've tried to get back in the weight room some for our linemen and linebackers. We've tried to keep our legs fresh from the skilled guys, but there's some things you got to implement. There's some situations that you want to keep going over. To make sure that you're ready to go for the championships that are going to happen down here, showdown October the 13th. But, we got some time that we can prepare. We still got to stay focused. And the most important thing we want to have our best people on the field. And to do that, you still got to practice hard, but you got to take care of your teammates. They got to take care of their bodies, and, they got to be doing all the right things. So it's a great time right now. It's a fun time as you're getting ready to close out the season, heading into the playoffs. November is the best part of in high school football. You play the regular season to get in the playoffs. There's going to be some new playoff teams that we're going to face this year, from Anderson County all the way down to Chattanooga. So it's going to be exciting to finish the season out and see how it unfolds.
New format, because we go back to the new format's the old format where they take the top 4. Is that correct?
Yes, they do.
And so top 4 teams go in. I think the top 2 stay at home, and the 3 and 4 with seeds will go on the road like they've done in the past. And so that's where we are. Some more numbers. Again, so far this season, Corey Russell, through Friday night's game, 776 yards rushing. He has scored 78 points. His career rushing, I don't know where that puts him in the all-time rushing list. I know there's a kid by the name of Thomas was pretty good here not too long ago. 2,238 yards rushing so far for Corey. Carter, of course, Carter Everett, we're talking about 1,270 yards passing this year, 19 touchdowns, 21 touchdowns total for him so far this season. His career passing numbers, 2,928, still going strong, still has another year, of course, and the rest of this year. And then just for this season, Ryan Wetzel, 13 touchdowns. He scored 78 points. He's had 477 yards in receiving. So you're talking these two young men, Corey Russell and Carter Everett, before they're all said and done, could rewrite the record books here. here?
Well, it's just great kids, and they come from great families, and they've been around the programs for a long time. They've been coming up in the youth leagues, and they've done a great job. Ryan's also a great baseball player. Carter and Corey play basketball. Corey also plays baseball, but they're phenomenal in every sport they play. But ultimately, it comes down to being a good kid. Good things happen to good people. Good things happen to those that work hard. There's they love the demands that the coaches put on them. And the guys that you've been around here at the program for several years, Tom. We put a lot of demands on our kids, and you have to. Demands in the off season, demands in the summer preparation, demands weekly during the course of your preparation. So just proud of those guys. There's a lot more names we could continue to name, and just proud of the way that those guys keep playing. But it's a total team effort. Football is a great sport. It teaches you a lot of things, and proud of the assistant coaches as well. And just getting Coach B that has been working with working with Carter for the last 2 years. Coach Moore that's really tried to help Corey be a full-time running back this year, and just proud of the all the coaches we have on our football team. Proud of the Coach Ogg putting together a great game plan to hold Tennessee High to 143 total yards. So it's awesome to see, and it's great to be a part of this Cyclone football family.
It's not about me, it's all about we, right?
No doubt about it.
That's the name of the game. Before I let you go, let's talk real quick. We were talking earlier about the kids transitioning. Duggar playing Vance coming up next Tuesday. That'll be October the 3rd, so that's a chance. It's their last hurrah as Duggar Cyclones before they transition, come up to the high school.
Well, it's an awesome to watch those guys and how much success they're having. And that's been a pivotal part of our program is, you can't do anything without a feeder program, and the guys that are up there do a great job. But, it's just important for our team goes up there and supports those guys, and it's just great to see. And, they're doing it with a lot of football kids too. They don't two platoon very much. They got offensive guys, defensive guys. They play exciting football. Ryan's probably got as good as offensive mind as there is over middle school football. They're great coaches. They play a great defensive scheme. There's a number of kids up there that are exciting to watch, and for them to close out their season here at Citizens Bank Stadium against Vance, it's going to be exciting. So for them to have a chance to compete and win a conference championship in a couple weeks, it's going to be awesome to close out the season.
On October the 3rd, we're going to broadcast that right here on Facebook, and also on the Tom Taylor Sports Show on Facebook, and also on the internet on the website, TomTaylorSports.com. Coach, off week. Love coming over here. Love being around this guy. He's now 92-37 in his 10th season as the head coach. You can do the math. He's averaging 9 wins a year. Unfinished business. We got the break, and we got coming up. We got Union, we've got Greenville, we've got Sullivan Central, and we've got Sullivan South. I don't know I know we got the next two in order: Union, Greenville, and then we go to South comes here, and we finish up at Central. I believe is how it goes. So 4 big games, the springboard into the playoffs. We're going to be with you, and we're going to come back week after next and recap the Union and get ready for Greenville. So love you, man. Appreciate you. Go Cyclones.
Yes, sir. I'd like to say one of the greatest things about being a coach this week is I had the opportunity to write a letter of recommendation for Nestor Grubb, who's
awesome,
trying to get into the service academy. One of the greatest things I got to accomplish in 11 years, my tenure here at Elizabethton High School, is writing a recommendation for somebody who wants to go serve the country. And his goal is to go to the U.S. Naval Academy, and he's filling out applications to get that in, and to be one of the 5 people. That's just to describe Nestor Grubb going in, what his college plans is. That's what I've done, spending my open week on, is writing a great recommendation for that young man to go to the service academy. It just says a lot about our football kid, and that's what it is. It's you give the Butch Jones, the speech circle of life, a circle of champions. But and there's a lot of things. We're all about winning on the field, but most importantly, you're about winning in life in different areas. So, you talk about Ryan Wetzel and, how much, great it is to see him be in a program. Nestor Grubb, here's a guy that's playing football at Lisbon High School, but his next 4 years, he wants to be at in the Naval Academy. So just proud of that, and tremendous honor to be able to be a part of those kids' lives that you can say, hopefully, you're making a difference.
Wow. You got me fired up, got
Yeah.
goosebumps. So, and in light of everything going on in this country with the national anthem and all that, pretty special. This kid wants to serve our country and go and try and become a member of the Annapolis, Maryland, the U.S. Naval Academy. So, that's awesome. Obviously, a big thrill for you. That's why I like this guy.
Yeah.
92 and 37. He is, and of course, he's teaching them not just about football, but he's teaching about life. And there's never more evident than Nestor Grubb applying to get to the U.S. Naval Academy, which is very, very special. Coach, enjoy the week off. We'll talk to you week after next. Go
Yes,
Cyclones.
sir, buddy.
Yes, sir. Good man right there. Love this guy. That'll do it. Again, we'll rejoin you coming up after the Union game. Thanks for watching this. Be sure and like it and share it. And so, as always, we close by telling you, win or lose, be a good sport. Thanks for watching the Shawn Witten Coaches Show. So long, everybody.